Hello guys, and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me, Vulcan, and Val.
Hello guys.
Today I have another 3 versus 3 from the Reddit tournament, and today on the blue side we have Team EuroAsia with Kamran, Siladar and Spirka, and on the red side we have Gentle Warlords with Fuzzball, Captain John and Lord Walker. So Val, what are your thoughts to begin with?
Well, this is a map that I've seen relatively often competitive, but I think it's a very interesting map because it can be a bit of a grind sometimes. You know, you can have fighting on basically both sides of the river in Echo and Hotel, and it can be very difficult for both teams to cross. On the other side, you have Alpha and Charlie, and you very rarely see pushes across there unless it's kind of almost a desperation push, really, because it's very hard to get across that one long bridge, or the sister bridge to it on the left. Yeah, it's a very interesting map with a lot of possibilities for some good and interesting play, so hopefully that's what we'll see today.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of gunboat diplomacy. Charlie and Golf, you know, it makes it very easy to defend these two bridges with the tree lines there. And that's often what happens is, you know, you'll get an odd tank or something sitting and watching the bridges with a recon unit or something, and then all of the action happens over a Hotel and Echo. I like the way that they changed this map so that the red side has more of a chance to capture Echo than they did previously. It is pretty hard though for the blue side to capture Hotel still, which I feel does give red side still an advantage on this map.
Yes, I'd say slightly. Although that being said, I think Echo is slightly easier for blue to push into, just because I think with helicopters it's easier to go across the bridges. Although I'm not entirely sure. Either way.
Yeah, they do get to Echo quicker, so that's definitely a possibility for them to go over the bridges much faster than the red side. But anyway, let's have a look at the blue team. What sort of decks are we looking at here?
Well, it looks like we have two Eurocore decks from Zaladar
and Kamran, is that? Yeah, I think it's
Kamran, yeah. And Spirka has what looks like, I'm going to say it's a US deck, but it could be a NORAD deck.
And there's some Centurion Mark 5s there, so I think it might.
Oh, definitely NORAD then.
It's going to be NORAD. We got the CH-136 as well, recon helicopter, which is Canadian as well. So yeah, we got two Eurocore with lots of Fuchs and Jaegers coming in at the start. Holy
absolutely
moly!
Tons. Absolutely tons.
We got some VABs in there with Milans, and we've got a couple of Leopard 1A5s, some VLRA Mestrals, and also a Patriot being provided by Spirka. Couple of Crotels
as well.
AMX Ronin 3, you know, they've got quite a diverse amount of units. A lot of their infantry is just going to be those Jaegers, though, and then they've got it supported by some varying units. Nice. I like the use of these Kurs.
Yeah, me too. I'm a fan of
very underrated recon-like vehicles. Come with a decent autocannon, very similar to the lower point Marders. So yeah, that's always useful. What about on the red side?
Well, on the red side, it looks like we have. It looks like they have one NORAD deck, I believe, for Lord Walker. Is that NORAD? Actually, I'm not sure if that's NORAD or just USA. I can't see any Canadian units, but it could well be NORAD.
Yeah, I think it must be just US.
US. It seems that way. Captain John seems to have definitely Eurocore. An MX Tempe and a Kyla, so definitely Germany and France. And Fuzzball with a deck that we saw him last with actually in Chosin Reservoir, I think.
Yeah, Chosin Reservoir.
With his Korean and Japanese Blue Dragons deck. So you know, he had some success on that map with it, so we'll see if he can replicate it here.
So more versatile units on the red side. We'll see how much that does for them. Meanwhile, on the blue side, they're going to be sticking with the classic Eurocore, which is very, very strong for blue 4. I think it's honestly Eurocore is probably one of the strongest decks in my opinion, especially if you look at like the red side's compositions of units. You can get those Cannon and Jagdpanzers alongside Jaegers. They're just incredibly strong. It's a really strong start. The only thing that can really push that back at the beginning is like big bombing strikes, so like B5s.
That's true, yeah,
or
definitely.
in the case of a blue 4 bomber, what could be brought in, like an F-15D Eagle, something like that?
A Deagle would definitely do a lot of damage. Obviously, if someone had like a Commonwealth deck and Aardvark, it's absolutely devastating.
Yes.
Still my favourite bomber in the game, despite a few nerfs it's had over the years with
Well, 8
availability and
1,000
stuff.
kilogram bomb. It's got the highest ordnance out of any
can never
bomber.
go wrong with that, can you?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I do like this composition. The Cognac Panzers, I think, are the great sort of blue 4 alternative to the SU-122s in my mind, and I think Red seems to have started with a more well-rounded composition on this this left-hand start point. But I mean, we'll see how it goes.
I think that the Red Sport side actually has like not very much anti-air. They got a Tansam short arrow, and they got they got 2 FRP Ronin 3s at the back,
and 1 man-pad unit at least, I think.
Yeah. But that's about it, which isn't actually much for the amount of points they're putting into ground forces.
They do have a ninja as well, but I mean, I guess we'll see where that goes. That could go on a scouting mission around the side. So the way we'll probably see this playing out, which I imagine is how it probably stays, we'll have these 2 big forces pushing into Echo and Hotel, and we will have just small garrison forces occupying Charlie and Alpha. Although it looks like Captain John has opted to send some Gazellecon and Recons. I imagine they're not for any kind of push; they're more just for a
so it looks like some Air Force at the beginning coming in. Look at this, a really nice napalm strike over the road.
That's really
to do
good.
some damage to both the APCs and the morale of those units. So that's going to help out a little bit to clean up those APCs a lot quicker at the start of the game. The Patu Tiger there coming in as well to shoot down the CH-53G. That's a nice little hit there. Tansam short arrow. Is that going to take out the Tiger? No, it's not. Didn't quite get into range in time.
There's a Pelican. No radar A that's on, I think. Yeah, the Rowan's are off.
The FRP Ronin 3s were turned off. Tansam short arrow not able to take out the Prowler. Those Tansam short arrows sound so cool when they fire.
They're really, really good. They're absolutely brilliant anti-air unit. But a bomber coming in. This could land right on that big group. And the attack marker's dropped in right on top of it.
Oh, wow.
That's
this is going to be insane.
Oh, kaboom!
What did we say would counter that push?
A good airstrike.
A good bomber.
That was disgusting to see.
That was so much stuff there. But look at the left side. The Kairoku WAPCs with the grenade launchers absolutely annihilating the Fuchs and Jaegers there. And they are going to get across the bridges very, very quickly with some Shuju Buntai.
That's a very, very good push. These Kuroko WAPCs are absolutely brilliant anti-infantry vehicles, especially for the price, 15 points with a brilliant grenade launcher. So despite Blue getting an absolutely amazing napalm drop right on there, it did miss these very fast wheeled units, and unfortunately that's come back to bite them slightly because those wheeled units are now ripping through their forces in the left Echo.
Those Leopard 1A5s though are going to prove an issue. Yeah, they're going to get stunned, but they are going to be there for a while. The grenade launcher is not going to be able to do too much damage unless the Shuju Buntais get side shots. So that's going to help out nicely. The Patu Tiger also helping out a lot, and the Peace Rhine coming in to pick off a couple of those APCs too.
The Bretonard as well. That's quite an expensive contribution for not too much, but we see a little mission around the left. I did mention about the Ninja and the UH-60P at the start, and it looks like they're opting to send them around on a scouting mission to the far left.
Yep.
One thing that I did notice that's very interesting is that on the right-hand side, Lord Walker has an M1A2 Abrams and a Bradley CEV, the TOW2 variant. That's a lot of points to put into that side.
Lord Walker has a ton of units in Alpha. That's a lot of wasted points on that side. But we must look at the
action, I guess.
The action, yeah. We've got these Jaegers in M113s completely cutting off the reinforcements into Echo, and that does mean that Fuzzball's units are going to eventually be cleaned up here. You can see that Leopard 1A5 is still alive. Oh, just went down to the Shuju Buntai as I say that. But yeah, those Shuju Buntai, only 9 of them left, and the Fuchs with Jaegers are coming in as reinforcements now. There's still Sappers there with their napalm launchers able to attack the Shuju Buntai as well. The Leclerc is sitting in the middle of Hotel. I'm surprised that hasn't been attacked by anything yet.
Well, it did get hit. It's on 3 HP, but it managed to back away. I think it was the Shuju Buntai that did the damage to it. Well, this was just a great move from Saladar. I mean, a lot of people would funnel their troops back into Echo to try and counteract this, but instead he thought, probably the correct decision is, those troops can get picked up by reinforcements. I want to go and stop the enemy reinforcements.
Yeah, Peace Pheasant coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Is that going to get the kill onto the Leclerc?
It might do. Yes, it does.
Yes, it will.
It does trade for it, so not an entirely...
Well, it managed to take out a Crotel as well.
Oh, did it?
So that was a nice points trade.
Definitely good in terms of points.
Wonderful use of the heavy hog there. I do like a heavy hog every now and then.
Heavy hog.
That absolutely wrecked those Shuju Bantai in Echo. So a recon unit being left in the bottom side of Echo by Fuzzball. He also has his ninja there, watching what's coming in at the spawn. But it looks like Saladar's really done a good job of holding them back at this bridge. Yeah, stopping them from getting across on his side, which is going to allow them to contest Hotel as the game continues. Currently, the red side are in a points lead due to the fact that Spearker hasn't captured Charlie. So that is putting them at a disadvantage at the start of the game, unfortunately. It would be nice if they rectified that sooner than later, otherwise that's going to be a large amount of points to bring back from... Look at that UH-1C heavy hog. Yeah. Harassing the ninja.
Just getting beaten out of the sky. An angry hog.
Being chased by all sorts of AA now. F4F KWS coming in.
Oh, that return kill, bit of revenge.
F4EJ does go down. Almost took out some Jaeger units as it crashed.
Almost, yeah. No, I have to say, I mean, while Cameron has done a good job of clearing out these forces with some of Spearker's heavy hogs in Echo, Saladar has just put in a stellar push onto this other side of the river, and his troops up in the bottom side of Hotel really stopped them from carrying and reinforcing. So now we're back to kind of a more even playing field. This does favour the blue side though, because they can now very easily have places they can contest Echo for Hotel, should I say, for a CV.
Yeah, they can put a lot of pressure into Hotel because they've managed to get reinforcements onto the far side of the river, which is very, very important for them.
Oh, that was so clear. Sorry, there was on the right hand side. There's an M3A1 Bradley recon with an Ito. Just narrowly missed the side of an M1A1 Abrams.
I've been watching that. It took a front shot from the M1A1, which was pretty impressive, and didn't die.
1 HP, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on 1 HP.
The 1 HP warrior. There's a Deagle coming in though, an F15D. That is probably going to do a lot of damage, and I don't see much ground air that can deal with that. So
there's the Crotal, might be lucky, but
and the Mistral. I think that'll get out scot-free.
I think that's.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
The 2 hits.
2 hits, yes indeed.
The 6/6 damage.
And was that worth it? Absolutely not.
That ECM is not enough, I'm afraid. That's I did not expect that to kill that, honestly.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's a great pick-off, though.
Look at this, though. Captain John is going to get a couple units across into Hotel. Is this F1 going to get out?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, wait,
he's going to go down to the Crotal.
Crotal's 2 enemy aircraft none.
And look at this Fuzzball's command unit there, getting a bit eager, was going all the way up the road and then turned back.
He saw all the enemy units and was like, wait a second.
Bombing strike coming in, just missed the Panzer Grenadiers there, took out an APC, nothing too special. Jaegers engaging the Panzer Grenadiers with their MG3s. The Jaegers aren't going to do just as much damage, really, because the MG3s are exactly the same. If they continue to engage at that range, then literally the Panzer Grenadier 90s don't actually have any advantage whatsoever.
Especially now they're now out in the open, I think they'll have even less than an advantage.
Yep, they're dead instantly.
They moved them.
Now the Heavy Hog coming across to provide some grenade launcher fire onto the Panzer Grenadiers in that small compound, facing off against those Jaegers. Oh wow, it looks like the M1A2 Abrams in that forest area on the right side of Hotel. That managed to snipe a KPZ Kyler.
Oh, unfortunately, M3A1 Bradley as well, and oh, the Super Etidot hit the wrong target.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate stuff.
And also, 2 more planes, went down from the blue side. The FRP Roland 3s picking those off. It was a Mirage and a Jaguar. Both got shot down.
Well, you know, Captain John doing a very good job of sort of reclaiming the centre area, and you can say that as he's bringing his Jaegers in M113s, he has no Fuchs to give, I suppose. So let's see if he can push all the way in. I'm so sorry.
Well, anyway, Jaeger on Jaeger action. We've got basically a lot of Jaegers.
We have a lot of Jaegers.
But Tornado IDS coming in there, going to land some nice bombs onto a couple squads of Jaegers. Going to change the advantage there to the blue side.
That's true. I feel like Saladar should probably move that Jaeger squad just out in the field into the town, because it's not really doing much, and these blue 4 Jaegers in the town are getting hit by that CEV as well. An incredibly strong well, a support vehicle, we'll say, but very good against infantry and buildings. This M1A2 Abrams has got that Bradley's number, I feel, and
quite possibly it's out of range at the moment.
Oh,
though.
that's true. That's true.
Although the Bradley's only going to be doing
fires.
1 health per hit.
There we go.
Well, there we go. Yeah. Goodbye, Bradley.
I shall see you in the next life. Bradley.
Oh, the Fuchs in the back.
Yeah, I
Look
just
at
that. It's a very optimistic move round, but I suppose it's not really much to lose if you leave.
Well, if it had bumped into that command, it would have killed it.
That's true. Yeah. Or at the very least, forced it to move. I feel, which would be, where it could potentially give you a very quick advantage.
Well, the K1 went down. Jaguar's going to go down as well. And the F4F KWS is going to stay alive for now.
So Fuzzball as well has brought in what looks like a K9 Thunder. A very, very good self-propelled gun artillery piece. Probably one of the better ones in the game, I think. And it looks like he's dropping some large smoke rounds onto this Paladar-occupied town in the left side of Echo.
Well, we missed the kill onto the M1A2 Abrams.
Oh!
They've got
Right,
at Foxtrot. Managed to snipe that with a cluster munition round.
Well, that is the danger of playing against Blue 4 and having very expensive tanks in the same position.
Yeah, the brilliant thing about the US is that they do have those specialised units like the Patriot and the Atacams and some really good stuff. The Fuchs has found
that CV's going
the
to go
CV.
down.
Yeah,
That's
the
gonna go
MG3 of the Fuchs is going to finish that off if it can get the reload in. And
There
get
we
on
go.
target.
Wow.
It's gone.
I'm surprised that did that.
That's
but,
the reinforcements from Juliet completely cut off now. They're going to have to bring them in from India unless they can get the truck back from Delta sooner than later, but that's going to give the blue side a massive lead in this game.
Definitely. I mean, not just points wise, but the fact that those reinforcements are now cut off until they get a CV back over, then I mean that looks like they'll do it quite quickly with a helicopter CV, but it gives the blue side the opportunity where they will have a numbers advantage in a sense. Although there are 2 Patriots that are coming from Lord Walker, so very formidable anti-air units, as we all know, and we'll have to see if that really does create a no-fly zone with those 2 FRP rolling.
They've already got the FRP rolling threes. I think that's a bit of a waste. That's a lot of points. That's like 120 points.
The same bush as well. You have to remember, this blue side has Natacums. Now, this is very dangerous, so they have to be on top of their shoot and scoot game, I think.
If that gets spotted, that is definitely going to be bad news for the red side.
And that's 240 points right there. That's, two 4 stacks of infantry and APCs, or a heavy tank and some support.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very expensive bring in, but I mean it could provide a very effective air defense network. I mean it does free up these Rolands to move forward with the troops, so I suppose they do serve their purpose.
Yeah, but look at this now in Hotel, because they've managed to get over the river. The blue side has managed to secure themselves a place for their command to contest Hotel. So even though they have managed to get Juliet back now, once that TACOM gets out, Hotel is still giving a +1 lead to the blue side, and they are going to eventually get back in the overall lead. The red side with their 121 points, where the blue side didn't capture Charlie. But now they finally have with their command squad, so that's all good. Hotel is going to be shooting down this AH-1J on the top side of the map, hopefully. Yep, that goes down nicely.
Indeed, there's a Peace Pheasant coming in. That's the one armed with the 4 Mavericks, and I'm not entirely sure what it's aiming at. Perhaps that Gepard.
The Panzer Gepard and the Crotal most likely.
Yeah.
Okay, the Crotal managed to hide itself.
I feel this is not going to be a good trade, though. That's a very expensive plane for but not a lot of gained
The
really.
Patriot helping shoot that down. They've got a really nice placed Patriot Spierker in Echo at the moment.
Speaking of Patriots, it seems like Lord Walker lost one of his Patriots to an Atacama strike, so exactly what we said would happen before
Oh
seems
yes,
to have
indeed.
happened. So 104, 120 points, should I say?
It's
Unfortunately,
very easy
down
to
the
miss
drain.
those strikes because there's only like one missile. There's another Atacams firing across the map at the moment. I'm not sure quite what that's going for. Is it going for some counter artillery maybe?
I think it's going for those mortars.
Yeah,
but
it's trying to hit the
just missed.
mortars.
That would have been a good pickup, another, ironically, 120 points if it had hit, but luckily, Captain John is on his game, I suppose, for the red team, and he's moved his
Look at this
mortars up, so-
combined strike in the middle though to take out those US Marines. We've got the
Oh,
Tornado IDS alongside the Napalm, the mortars, and the heavy fire support from the Heavy Hogs and their grenade launchers is going to allow the Panzer Grenadiers to win that engagement and move into that compound. So really, really nice job there, pushing Captain John out of the blue side of Hotel.
Not just that, very clever. They smoked the river where the M1A1 Abrams was as well. And actually, this MX-40 is in a great position to engage that too with the Milan.
Yeah, I think that was primarily for the AMX-40, I think, because the AMX-40 does have very low armor, only 12 front armor compared to the 17 of the M1A1 Abrams. Oh, the Peace Rhine
misses.
Wow.
Oh, the Hornet's going to finish it there, but this Patriot's probably going to take it out. No,
Even if the
Yes,
Patriot had hit then, it probably wouldn't have gone down.
and it's out of ammo as well. It's going to have to
Patriot,
make its way over.
only 9 HE power after all, and unless it got a critical hit, that would have gone as a one-hit kill.
Yeah, so we're seeing quite a nice proactive game from the blue side. They've made what seems to be all the moves, and red seems to just be trying to catch up.
Hotel's been, the command unit on the red side's been taken out. I think it was by the mortars found the command jeep. A lovely combination of fire support, the Kyler and the Kurs joining in onto these Panzer Grenadiers in the centre. Over on the left side, it's
very
spread out
effective.
a lot. We got a couple Jaeger squads very far out. It's managing to almost
they're
shoot
gonna
down the
take it
AH-1J Cobra. Yeah, look at that.
Those Jaegers have grown up and have left the nest to go and take out an enemy helicopter.
Yeah, wonderful job.
Their command will be proud of them, but so we do see one of the problems with the red side occupation of Hotel, and that is that if you lose this small sort of compound on the left where Saladar pushed his troops across, there is a very limited area where you can put your CVs, as we saw. I'm not sure if they did actually spot that with a recon or blind fired, but it could easily be a blind fire considering just how
Yeah, they're very
small
cornered.
the area.
So
yeah.
it's only going to be in a short space, really. It's interesting to see how the blue side's using some of their air force. It's nice to see these Peace Rhines actually coming in and targeting specifically anti-air. I think that's a really, really good move, and not many people actually do it. If you spot an AA unit, don't be afraid to attack it with an aircraft, because most of the time you're going to come out on top. It's going to take 2 shots from an anti-air unit to shoot you down, while normally an HGM unit will one-shot an enemy AA unit. So you're always going to come out on top in those engagements.
That's true, that's true. Although you do have to remember as well that if you do get too close, you do run the risk of being hit by other anti-air. But again, it can be very viable, and I think people don't give it the credit it deserves. Looks like Red again is bringing some more very heavy anti-air in. They're obviously getting tired of these very effective strikes from the blue side planes, bringing 2 Hawk Pip 2s with some very powerful anti-air units.
Mirage SF though, still getting off a bombing strike onto a lot of this infantry and
Yep,
going to do a
very
ton of
effective.
damage onto the Sechong-Su, the Panzer Grenadiers, and yeah, there's just nothing they can do about that until they get the Hawk Pips closer.
Well, not just that. Now, Cameron along the Saladar have some a kind of formidable garrison in that town now, and they have enough troops there to start pushing against Red side.
Yeah, the MG fire from those Jaegers is absolutely annihilating the enemy infantry as it comes close. Also, if any units move forwards in Hotel from the red side, they are just taking so much fire from the fire support on the blue side. Siladar
That's true.
is just doing so
Although-
much damage. He's bringing up more Marder 2s now even heavier fire support alongside those Panzer Grenadier 90 is going to absolutely wreck those squads. It's insane.
It was a very nice sort of push over the river with those US Marines, but I feel they're just in a very bad position. We'll see how this does turn out. I mean, the US Marines are very good infantry, and they do have a CEV for fire support, but I mean, if those Centurions have anything to say about it, I think that CEV won't be around for much longer, so...
Yeah, the blue side's definitely getting a significant lead now. And their planes are starting to fall, though, because the Hawk Pips did manage to get a shot off.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely... like we did talk about the expense of bringing in air units, but they can be very cost-effective used properly. And by the looks of it, they use the Eyehawks properly anyway.
Oh, so wonderful counter-artillery onto the enemy mortars there.
Oh,
Atacams
wow.
lands directly on target. Also the mortars from Camran. Look, he's moving his after he's fired. That's exactly what you need to do. The red side getting a bit sleepy there.
Yeah, I mean, Captain John did move his before, narrowly avoiding an Atacama strike, but unfortunately he was not quite lucky. Although they did just snipe down I believe for, I think it was an F-18C with those two Hawk Pips again in the top of hotels. So a very nice pick-off for the red side. Some seed coming in, but again, it just feels like they don't have any momentum in this game. It feels like they're just playing catch-up.
Yeah, well, also it feels like they're just throwing units at the enemy and not really thinking up a strategy in order to make a, quite damaging push. At the moment, yeah, they're just throwing in the units one by one. The M113s with the Jaegers, for example, just getting picked off, and they're not like saving them and then doing one big push, which is what they really need to do at this point with some smoke, some big fire support. The longbow going down there, that was a bit of a mistake.
But it did take out the chaparral, so you at least it did that. Good job, longbow. You tried.
What I really like about this match in particular, especially from the blue side, is that I can constantly hear mortars firing, and that is just a trait of some really good players, making sure that they make use of that artillery constantly because it has so much ammo to use up.
Yeah.
Another Mirage going down there to the Hawk Pips. Those Hawk Pips definitely doing work. It was a good investment by Fuzzball to bring those in.
They've paid for themselves a few times over by now, I think, so definitely a good idea. Although I believe only one missile left, so they do need resupply.
It looks like the blue team's bringing in a second command unit to double cap Hotel.
That's definitely a good idea of the situation, I think, because you have to remember, just as I was saying about the command is quite easy to guess for the red side. There's only really two places you would put a CV, I think, on blue side as well, which is the town close to the bridge that Saladar moved across to, and the town on the red side of the bridge. And while you could put it in other places, I feel they would have spotted it earlier with their units in the large forest area on the other side. So, I mean, we'll see, but I definitely think double capping is a good idea in the situation. They have a good lead. They've really got red on the back foot, and I mean, I'm interested to see what sort of players Red can think up to try and come
look
back
at this
into
longbow.
this game.
Look at this longbow. It's picking up Marder 2s left, right, and centre. Literally picking up 3 Marder 2 kills, one after the other. Probably going to pick up those Centurions as well. Maybe the AMX-40. If it picks up the AMX-40, then, that's paid itself off. But it's this AMX-30 Roland. We've got to see if that actually manages to catch it out.
No, I think Red's realised that they've spent a bit too long there, and they're not welcome anymore. There's a nice sort of counter push, but that has been shut down a little bit by blue napalm, should I say. Another great use of smoke, though. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, but look at this. The Cannon and Jagdpanzers moving straight across in the open. I can't help but feel if they'd fast moved them round to support this push coming down from the top of Echo, it would have been a lot more effective rather than pushing them across the open like this, because from that range they are literally going to hit nothing. They only have, 30% accuracy at max range, so that's not very useful, to be honest, and I'm surprised they're not being taken out a lot quicker.
And it's not just that. Something as well was that you see those JSDF Rangers on the left hand side. They were a full unit before It was definitely bombing strike. I can't remember exactly what plane came in to do it.
It was the IDS, yeah.
The IDS, yeah. I think it might have been. Oh no, actually, I think it was a Mirage SF.
No, it was definitely an IDS.
Was it an IDS?
I think. Yeah.
Well, either way, it was a very good bombing strike. But it just goes to show. Remember we mentioned about the Hawks being out of ammunition. It's no good having extremely good AA on a sector and then pushing if there's no ammunition in those AA pieces.
And there's no AA left. So now all the airstrikes come in to prevent this push, and there's nothing to shoot down on these aircraft.
That's exactly what happened. That was, you know, a very expensive set of JSDF Rangers, and they just got annihilated by that one strike. Now these Leopard 105s coming in to clean it up, and
yeah, look, two more.
We'll see how it goes.
Look, Peace Rhine Tornado IDS. Once again, not really hitting their mark, but just the fact that they can do that is just silly. F4F, is that going to get out of there?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, the Hawks not being quite as lucky as they were before. Maybe they need to get some new operators.
Well, I think the problem was there that they were reloading.
That's true. Yeah.
So that they couldn't fire so quickly, which allowed it to get out of there. So things have quietened down for a little bit.
Push seemingly thwarted, although there is still kind of a significant-ish gap in the blue defences to the left. Potential for Red to exploit that, but I think their mind will be on other things. They brought in a Thunderbolt, but I'm not entirely sure what that's going for.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what that's going to hit. Maybe it's going to try and kill off that Crow Tower if they can see it.
If this is just going for the Humvees, that's a big waste of points, I imagine. I mean, it looks like it's going to get out, but still.
Had second thoughts about that one. The Patriot missile coming out of nowhere.
There's another 30 stack of JSDF Rangers coming in on the left-hand side. Very well timed, actually. That's going to go straight into attack the Blue 4 command and take them out. But another bombing strike coming in from Camran and Saladar to just...
Yeah, a nice combined strike there.
Hopefully. Oh no! They've microed that very well. They've managed to avoid both strikes.
Yeah, they dodged out those JSDF Rangers. It was a nice amount of like artillery coming from this Mars by Siladar. Nearly hit the M1 Abrams at Hotel. That's countercapping that.
I think it did tag it, didn't it?
Yeah, it definitely hit it. They probably should use the Atacams though to kill that off. That would have been a one-shot kill.
Then again, I imagine they didn't know exactly where it was, which is why they had the spread. But still, a valiant attempt. But you know, the CMD M1 Abrams survives another day.
Spierke being told to unload his Grizzlies with 4 Canadian Airborne. I was looking at that, I was like, they're just sitting there, the Grizzlies firing their machine guns against the JSDF Rangers, and the Airborne just sitting inside all safe and sound. But no, they're going to get into the fight now, and once they bump into those JSDF Rangers...
that helicopter though.
Hopefully, they're going to do some damage, yeah, as long as they don't get killed in the meantime.
This has been a very good push by Red. I mean, Blue looked in a very solid position on this left-hand side. And now they're they're just being forced to bring in as many reinforcements as they can. I think they will have the forces to quell this assault, but we will see, because those Canadian Airborne are very good, but you know there's lots of. Oh, the CV goes down.
Yep.
Very good mortar strikes from Captain John, I believe that was.
Yeah, but the mortars are being counter-arted by Camran's mortars, but that is good for them because it does stop the +1 lead that the blue side had, just for the time being.
I'm honestly very surprised that Saladar's Foehn's group of command is on the edge of Echo rather than. Yeah, it looks like Cameron's just reminding him about that right now to send it into Hotel to get the cap off.
Yep, it's good that they had that in reserve. Just so that they could get the cap in there, and it's going to be very unlikely that they predict where that cap is coming in.
It is, especially with the ATGM Milan on the other side of the river is, probably the only recon they have of that entire side of Hotel that's, relatively effective. I mean, they do have a BGS in there, but their line of sight is blocked to a lot of these common cap positions, I suppose. So, very hard to see.
I lost a KWS on the blue side then, trying to shoot down an enemy Raven. But yeah, the Hawk Pips taking care of that. Those Hawk Pips, I would love to see their kill feeds after this game. Honestly, they've done so much damage to the blue side's Air Force. It's ridiculous. I like the use of Kamran's Cassiopeias here. He's really exploiting the fact that the red side doesn't have much close range AA. Yes, they have the Hawk Pips, but they're no good against helicopters. So he's making use of that advantage by bringing in these Cassiopeias that have a 60% accurate autocannon with 3 AP power. So they're incredibly powerful, and they can even destroy heavy tanks if they shoot them in the top armour.
Well, I will correct you, those Hawk Pips are very good against helicopters. They've got 3,325 metre range, but...
Only if they're in line of sight though, yeah.
That's true. They were very good if they were closer. I mean, the Cassiopeias do meet their ultimate demise from those Hawk Pips, but... Yeah, so a very...
That's my bad, yeah, they do have the 3,300 metre range.
No, it's...
As opposed to the normal Hawks, which have a lot shorter range.
A terrible range. They are very good against helicopters, just they weren't quite in position, so... I mean, they have actually been skirting around that forest for quite a while now, so I'm surprised they haven't been counter-artilleried.
Yeah, it's strange that they haven't really figured that out.
Blue seems to be very good with this.
But the ATACMS hasn't seemed to have been used for a while, which is what's kind of strange. Maybe it's because of ammunition, like they've ran out of supply at the FOB.
They have run out of FOB.
Maybe they have been firing, it just hasn't been hitting anything significant.
It looks like they have 2 ATACMS at the moment. Baker has both of them, and he's just desperately bringing in Hemps to try and resupply those gas-guzzling beasts that are the ATACMS.
So more reinforcements coming up.
So still with all the action, all the action is on this left-hand side. We haven't seen anything on the right-hand side, and it's a bit of a shame considering that the Lord Walker's spent all these points on it. But we do see a lot of Puma Cassiopeias and a longbow, so perhaps they're going for a bit of a cheese heli rush, which, you know, if backed up by good ground troops, can be extremely effective.
It might work, but there is these M48A3 chaparrals, which are very accurate. He's got one that's sitting at Charlie, will get destroyed pretty easily on its own, but the one back at Bravo and also the VLRI Mistral should be able to take care of things.
You'd think so, but I guess we'll find out.
Another plane going down on the left side.
Yeah, I mean...
What was that?
Well, one thing I didn't actually notice is that Lord Walker has his own ATACMS, actually. So we'll see, looks like it's just about to fire off into somewhere. And I wonder where that's targeting.
Oh, the Heavy Hog's going to work again on those JSDF Rangers.
Those Heavy Hogs have been used so well this game so far. I have to congratulate Spearker because they have been having quite an impact, I think.
Yeah, the M163 CSs as well with the Vulcan miniguns also destroying the JSDF Rangers, keeping them stunned while the Grizzly reveals them. And wow, that's just doing so much damage.
A brilliant pick-off. I mean, the points they gain from those fire support vehicles are just very well used. It looks like there's some smoke coming in from, I think, it must be blue side there, because those cannon Jagdpanzer seems to have been causing them a little trouble.
The ATACMS were firing at the mortars.
Oh, there you go. The ATACMS is coming in now.
Yeah, they both missed.
Oh, yeah.
Marder 2's doing a great job.
I'm honestly surprised that Red Side hasn't put an ATACMS round into, you know, the forest on the very right side of Echo where those 2 AA pieces are.
Yeah.
Because that's been firing anti-air the entirety of this game.
Look at this right side. Cassiopeia's getting dangerously close.
Go. That's gone straight through.
They did take out the first chaparral, but like I said, the second one is doing a good job so far.
It is. I don't think it can stop them though. These Cassiopeias have quite a lot of HP. The Tigers are coming in though. These are some very good anti-air
I think
heavies.
they're going to get enough in time, and they completely missed the command squad on the left side of Bravo. They might take out the one in Charlie, give them a +1 lead for a little while, but honestly, that's not going to last very long, I don't think.
Well, the one thing that is slightly strange to me is that Lord Walker has all these ground troops and Alpha that he's not sending across the bridge. I mean, you see, the thing is...
he could definitely get a beachhead
So
now.
What happens with these sorts of situations, although they did just find that command squad, so a nice pick off for Fuzzball, I imagine.
If he gets the kill.
I think he will. But you see, the problem with these
Yes.
is that you push all these helicopters across, and very understandably, Blue has brought all of these anti-air units. So what you need to do is basically coordinate that with a ground push, because then they have all these anti-air units and they have no anti-ground
Yeah,
units.
and you could have
roll
had
in with
that
your tanks.
M1A2 Abrams there picking them all off.
That would have been an absolute field day for that Abrams. Just get a few air units, and there's 2 chaparrals there. Get some recon. They have a Bradley recon there, and some infantry, and you could very easily control Charlie. Not just capture it temporarily, because I feel this will only be a temporary capture, but really control it.
Let's see how much damage this Raven does.
Yeah.
And that's bringing in some anti-radar missiles. Going to pick off a couple of units, I'm sure.
Just one so far, I think. Yeah, just one. It seems
Yeah,
like
most of the Mistrals are infrared. Also, the MX-30 Roland, they're SACLOS missiles, so not going to be able to be targeted by that. Over on the left side, it went completely quiet when that was going on. A really nice distraction and a nice capture as well by the TACOM squad in Charlie, but completely unsupported. Finally, the M1A2 Abrams is moving across, but look at this, M3A1
no.
Bradley is going to side shot that if he doesn't spot it. He's already hit it once in the side armor. Is he going to hit it a second time? I'm just waiting for that M3A1 Bradley to fire.
Come on, can he do it? I think he can. No, he's not. He's missed. Is he going to get out of range any moment now? Another tube? No, missed again. It's out of range.
Yeah, went out of range.
Yeah. I do feel like they really missed the opportunity here, though. I mean, they may still be able to push across, but if they'd have done that sooner, I feel they would have had a much higher chance of success, whether they do succeed or not.
Look at those VBL Mistrals going down to the Hachi Nanashikis. That is horrible.
Oh, those
25-point Hachi Nanashikis taking out whatever points those VBLs are. What is it, like 40, 50 points
40,
each?
Yeah. I think, though, you do have to remember that while this was at least a semi-success, it did stop the points bleed. They gave up a lot of ground on the left for the points investment on the right there. The blue side has been able to push all the way up into those compounds that Red previously occupied with some Rangers.
Just picked off a Leopard 2A1 there, I think it was. Both of the Hawk Pips are gone as well now.
So again, there is always a cost to making a play on the map. You have to make sure that you're adequately protected, or adequately should I say, on other sides of the map. And also throwing away that Super Retinata for free probably won't help.
Yeah, the Esendard was trying to kill an Abrams, but it looks like that's not going to be the job of the M1A2 there, as it manages to get the kill. But yeah, rightly so, the blue team come back and capture Charlie straight away and completely reinforce it. So it's going to be incredibly hard to get anything across that bridge, even though they had plenty of chance to do so.
I feel this is a guaranteed game in red side now, I think.
On blue side, you mean?
Oh, blue side, sorry. No, I don't know why I said red side. No, you're right. Blue side is just so far ahead. They've completely shut off any kind of potential recapture on the left-hand side, any kind of assaults, because red just doesn't have the points value troops to push through these very, very heavily defended city blocks. On the right-hand side, it was a very admirable attempt to push across and try and make a play and sort of get an advantage back on the map. But I feel they just threw that away. They managed the push, but then they just didn't back it up in time. And by the time they'd started moving across, the blue four had already sent their reinforcements in, and now they're definitely not getting across. So
yeah, look at these Jaeger squads. They managed to use smoke to get them into the topside town in Hotel. And now they've spotted the M1 Abrams that's sitting there. That's going to definitely take an artillery shot, I would expect.
I feel the Naticum's just about to go into that. Well, they're actually
the one by the hill on the left is now firing onto that, and I would not be surprised to see that hit.
Although he's just moved the Abrams back into the same place it was at.
Yeah,
there we go.
Gone.
Yep.
And that's pretty much spells defeat for the red side. No chance with only 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock to bring this back. To be honest, I'm not sure which is going to end first, the game or like the points reaching the victory points.
Well, that's the exciting thing. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, Raven coming in on the left side, or Walker's Raven's been alive for the whole game, I think, which is pretty good. And now it
Not
goes
anymore.
down
Just as you say that.
to the rolling 3. Yeah, cast a curse.
Again, this Thunderbolt has just come in for nothing now, and I guess at this point they don't really mind because they know they've lost. And I think conclusively we found out the points will tick before the game is over, I believe.
Yeah, maybe.
If we have a look on the left-hand side, there's a Rogue Hayate command, just thinking, what am I doing with my life? I can't
The
destroy tanks.
KWS got shot down, and I thought that the A-10 Thunderbolt was going to get away with it, and then the last infrared missile just spanked it out the air.
Spanked it out the air. Truly the master of terminology.
Lovely analogy there.
Spanked it out the air. This has been a very interesting game, but I feel Blue has just had the advantage. They've just... Honestly, I think the point I would pinpoint is when Saladar took that proactive play, when he pushed across the bridge, cut off those reinforcements. Ever since then, the game has just been in Blue's favour. Obviously not to discount all the skill and strategy they employed after that, but I think that was a very, for me even, was a very important point in the game. And really, it's just, Red just didn't come back, honestly.
30 seconds in the game left to go. Blue side hits the victory points, and you can see that the kills to losses aren't actually too different for a 40-minute game. So, in all honesty, both teams didn't do too bad. It's just that I think the blue side got the bigger lead early on. Look at Siladar, 4,723 kills.
Out of his mind this game.
2,940 losses.
He just had a great game. And it was, again, I don't think... I mean, so some of the games that you see, you can say that game was won by particular micro skill, or someone was particularly better with his units. But I think just some of the decisions that were made on the blue side, and specifically again, I would single out Siladar, really just swung the game in their favour, and Red was just trying to catch up the entire game, and just never really could.
Well, yeah, it seemed like
rush.
Everything that the blue side was doing, the red side was like copying like 5 minutes later. So like the blue side brought in Atacams, then the red side brought in Atacams once they realized the blue side was using them, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, they're using seed, oh, we better use seed. They're using bombers, oh, let's now use bombers, right? But because they're always second to it, like the blue side always has something prepared, so they bring in their bombers, but they're just going to get shot down because they've already brought in AA, you know? So that's what it seemed to happen throughout the entire game.
Well, it's not just that to me. No, obviously, this isn't to have like a Red sort of micro, but it just seemed to me that not only did Red sort of just, they were lagging behind on what Blue was doing, but Blue just seemed to do it better sometimes. Like, I don't think I saw a single Blue unit that was, so an artillery and AA unit, get counter-batteried. And I'm sure it probably did happen at some point in the game, but I definitely noticed Red was a bit lax, really, with moving their units after firing. And when you're playing against a good team, that really matters. And it's just a bit unfortunate that Blue were very on their game, I suppose, with those counter batteries, because that Atacams must have a disgusting kill feed right now.
The red side did try to use Atacams a couple of times, but just like Cameron was on point with his counter artillery on his mortars. Mm-hmm. We had Spierka on point with his Atacams as well. So, yeah, just definitely better play. The only thing that I am really quite disappointed about is that last push by the red team with the Cassiopeias. I really think that they could have utilised that push, like you said, brought some ground forces across onto the blue side's the blue side of the river, and created a beachhead. And honestly, if they'd done that and they'd kept like the +3 probably would have been lead, then they might have had a chance of bringing that back. There was about 5 minutes left on the clock there, so if they'd made any more ground, then that's definitely a possibility. But it's just a shame they didn't take full advantage of that.
I think that's something to really take home about this game if you're sort of a newer player who's watching, or someone who wants to sort of pick up a few strats that sort of the best players are using. I think you always have to think what your enemy's doing ahead. So in that situation, when you heli rush across, the enemy's going to bring out loads of panic AA, which they did. And everyone does that. Almost every player will do that. Because if you don't bring out the AA, then the helicopters just destroy your CVs. So then what you need to do is you need to have the ground forces ready, because once they've spent all their money on A, and I guarantee your opponent will spend more money on A than they actually need, you just roll across the bridge, and then you're sitting there pretty with your super heavy tanks and your infantry, and they roll up to the sector. They're like, where are the helicopters gone? And you're sat there in your tank thinking, we've got the sector. So it's just kind of a great, and you could apply that sort of thing to lots and lots of strategies. Where if you use something that the enemy will hard counter, always have the counter to that counter sort of prepared. And it does sound kind of like simple combat triangles almost, but it really does work. And if you use it correctly, you can get a very nice advantage in games. But I mean, red side, they did make the effort to try and make that proactive play, but I think even if they did get across the bridge, they were still a bit far down. But it was a good game, but I feel that blue was just strategically ahead.
Yeah, throughout the game. So anyway, that about sums it up, doesn't it? So
I think so.
So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.